Welcome to another episode of the Quantum Ascension Shift Codes series. So, this is to quantum leap into divine overflow, lead, create, give, and receive from divine overflow. And of course, I thought I had an idea of what the second episode was going to be about. And apparently, Spirit has different plans. So, this is so fun because this is literally showing in real time how divine creation works, right? I'm showing up in real time, delivering this from divine overflow, from divine creation. It is not something that is conceptually figured out. It's just moving through me. The transmission is moving through me. I am just showing up as the vessel. So we're going to talk about that, but what was coming through right now that needs to be shared that is going to piggyback on the first episode. So if you haven't watched the first episode, you can get access to that inside the YouTube membership right now, and it will be live there until the series is over. And the series is going to be over sometime in September. When the series is over, the YouTube membership vanishes, and so does the free Telegram channel. Divine Overflow Inner Circle, which you can get access to that right now because I'm going to be dropping and have been dropping deeper integration. And that's going to pick up momentum inside the container. So you get to connect, you get to collaborate, you get to be part of a collective. It gets to be a very interactive experience, and you're going to get behind the scenes, like extra energy calibrations and actual integration and embodiment practices as we move through the series. At the end of the series, everything vanishes, and then this is going to get packaged and repurposed into a standalone product. And it most likely will be bonuses in some of my premium programs. And I haven't decided that yet, but I'm playing with that energy and we're going to see how that unfolds. So, that being said, welcome. And I just wanted to, this isn't even what I want, this is just what's pouring through that needs to be shared right now. So, this piggybacking off of the first episode, which they all will, and we're like like piggyback off of the previous episodes to build momentum. So I highly suggest if you're seeing this now and you don't have access to the first episode, you're going to want to get access to that in the membership, which I will link below. Okay, let's dive in. The Quantum Ascension Shift Code series is ultimately what this really boils down to is you embodying the kingdom of heaven, which exists within you. When Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you, he wasn't speaking in proverb, he wasn't speaking in metaphor, he wasn't speaking in some mystical code. He was speaking quite literally. The kingdom of heaven exists within you. This is you ascending into your highest 5D timeline, new earth frequency. This is a frequency. It's not a destination outside of you. This is what collapses timelines between where you feel you're at now and your highest timeline, which is you living in complete divine overflow, divine prosperity, and abundance flowing into your experience effortlessly. This is activating the sacred wealth codes within you, which is the divine prosperity that is part of your divine inheritance because you are the infinite substance of abundance. If you approach this series from the separate sense of self, you will not get the same, you will not shift into your highest timeline. The kingdom of heaven exists within you. So ultimately, this is accessed through your sacred heart, through your point of creation, which is your 0 point. It is your grounded, neutral presence. You will not be able to move through this series identified as a separate sense of self because the separate sense of self is always going to need something outside of itself. Separate sense of self is always going to be reaching, needing, wishing, hoping for things to change on your timeline. If you are approaching this series because you want to desperately shift out of your current timeline, this will not work for you because you cannot resist the present moment. You cannot resist the now and quantum leap into your highest timeline. This is not about trying to rearrange the external reality to get it to fit your needs, what you feel you need, what you feel you are lacking, what you feel you are missing. And this is a key element in this Quantum Ascension Shift Code series, because the more if you approach it from this perspective of need, hope, wanting, seeking outside of yourself, you will be met with more lack, and it will be illuminated for you in your experience. It will be illuminated, not because you're being punished, but because you are being asked to choose again. You're being asked to choose from your highest, wisest discernment. You are being asked to choose to go inward versus seek outward. We are also dealing with quantum manifestation here. So it's not just about living from your, like, yes, it is all about living from your divine presence and your frequency. But this series is about how we materialize form and dematerialize form through our conscious presence, how we unwind old patterns that are not rooted in our truth through our conscious presence. So this is about how your conscious presence, the frequency of your divine presence, how that is reconditioning your field to align you with your highest timeline and undoing and unwinding the conditioned patterns that had you believing in any kind of lack, scarcity, or unworthiness. And this will only unwind when you begin to come home to yourself and emanate from the truth of who you are. And so part of this process, I'm going to share a little bit of integration work right now because I'm feeling called to, and I just was guided to, is realizing where you are still operating from lack, scarcity, or fear. Because if you are operating from lack, scarcity, or fear, you will not be creating your highest ideal divine reality, which is ultimately what your highest timeline is. It's your divine reality. Divine overflow is rooted in abundance and prosperity in all ways. And it includes joy and pleasure and fun and freedom and all the things. So any place you are operating from lack, fear, or scarcity needs to be seen, not resisted, not suppressed, not repressed, so that it can be shifted and recalibrated through the truth and light of your conscious awareness. So you might be asking, okay, so here's what is how do you do this, Sarah? Right? That might be what you're asking. And I'm not speaking to your mind. So even though your mind is conceptually trying to understand the steps to quantum shift into your highest divine reality, I'm going to be activating you on a deeper level than what the mind can understand. The mind is going to try to grasp onto concepts. The mind is going to try to grasp onto a to-do list. The mind is going to try to grasp on to a linear timeline, right? But quantum ascension and shifting into your highest divine reality happens in the eternal moment of now. It is timeless. This is how you collapse timelines. You are not operating from a linear timeline with all of these steps, even though I am going to give you integration and embodiment exercises that collapse the timeline, but ultimately it's all bringing you home to operate from the truth of who you are. So how do you shift when you recognize that you are operating from fear, scarcity, or lack? First, you recognize it. You recognize it. You see, oh, I am operating from a fear-based frequency or a frequency of lack or scarcity right now. This is not my truth. This is not my true frequency or vibration. So first you recognize it and you call it out as soon as you realize it, which you will if you're guided to this series, because you're no longer living unconsciously if you're guided to this series. This series is not for the newbie that is just breaking free from mind identification and the separate sense of self. You've been cultivating a level of awareness of when you're operating from the separate sense of self or divine presence. And even if you're earlier on and that's still a little blurry, that will become more clear because it's just a degree of clarity. You're already the one. You are already the source of all of creation. You are already the love and abundance that you seek. It's just a degree of clarity that is being revealed to you, a higher level of clarity. Okay, so first realizing, okay, you sense, you feel you are operating from some kind of fear, lack, or scarcity. Maybe there's anxiety present or something like that. Maybe there's a story or narrative associated with that. First, seeing it and declaring that that is not your frequency, that is not your true vibration. So I want you to think of you are a broadcaster, you are a signal. You are broadcasting a frequency. You are a transmitter. This body, this vessel, this sacred vessel that is being animated by the one right now and expressing uniquely. This is your divine expression, and there's a signal associated with what you are expressing. You are ultimately a broadcast tower. Just think of yourself as a broadcast tower, and you are sending out your signal. That signal is then activating your field, and your field can align you with an infinite number of timelines and possibilities. Infinite number of timelines and possibilities. They're all available to you. The one where you're struggling, the one where you're suffering, the one where you're living in lack, the one where you are a multimillionaire living in abundance and growing charities and doing all the things you want to do with your pure heart. Like all of those timelines exist. No one is judging you for choosing any one of those timelines except for yourself. You're the only one that's judging you, that if you go down the path of divine overflow, that you're not going to be seen as spiritual or you're being greedy or something like that. Those are all judgments. Those are all judgments, which is the language of the ego, and the only one judging you for any of this is you. Ultimately, that's all there is. But it's the ego coming in the back door, chiming in. So ultimately, seeing yourself as the signal. You are the broadcast tower. You are a transmitter of frequency and you are receiving. You are simultaneously transmitting and receiving, and you've been doing this your whole life in this experience, in this 3D reality. Nothing has changed here. This is the way it's always been. You've been creating your reality through broadcasting a signal your whole life and receiving and having the world be an echo of that. The spiritual law of correspondence, divine law, as real as the law of gravity, but now you're going to be working with higher divine laws instead of just the laws that are part of the 3D reality. Your signal goes out, it activates the field and you have access to an infinite number of timelines available to you. And based on what you are broadcasting as your signal, that is what will be made available. That is what your reality will reflect back to you. Those timelines that are available to you based on the frequency that you're transmitting. And this is why it's really important to be conscious, using your conscious awareness to catch when you are operating from fear, lack, or scarcity. Because this is not the truth of who you are. This is not the vibration that you truly are. This is bogging down your true frequency, those thought patterns, those belief systems, the emotions tied to them, like all of it. That's bogging down your frequency. And so then you're broadcasting a signal to your field, and the field is rearranging according to the infinite number of timelines and possibilities available to you. And then that creates the reality that you see. And there is oftentimes a little bit of a lag in the 3D reality before that manifests, but not always, because you can also instantly manifest and collapse timelines in like instantly manifest, which requires a high level of faith and embodiment, but that is available. And that's fun too. And that's what we're doing here. But okay, so you've always been doing this. Your signal, your broadcast has been going out into the field and selecting, so to speak, the timeline that matches that frequency out of an infinite number of timelines and possibilities. Think about this. Infinite. There are a million, not million, there are an infinite, like millions and millions and billions, like there, you can't put a number on it, right? There's just infinite numbers of timelines and possibilities. It's limitless. It's limitless. And this is where you get to play with limitless creation. You have been identified with a certain story and narrative right now that is keeping you in a timeline that feels comfortable and familiar to you, but it is just one timeline out of infinite number of timelines. There is also a timeline of you fully embodied in your sacred wealth frequency. There is also a timeline where money and prosperity flow to you easily and effortlessly. There's also a timeline where you are living abundantly, getting paid to exist, doing what you love. All of these timelines are available for you. And you are shifting. If you're here resonating with this, you're in the process of quantum shifting from whatever your current timeline is into your highest divine reality timeline, which is your 5D new earth frequency timeline, which means you're not going to be able to access it from the separate sense of self that is coming from any fear, lack, or scarcity. It's only going to come from you accessing the kingdom within, which is already, the good news is it's already, you're already it. You're already it. It's just a matter of now anchoring into that, embodying it, living it, and breathing it. And the first phase of this is going to be recognizing where you are still operating from fear, lack, or scarcity and being honest and real with yourself about that. Recognizing where, as a transmitter of frequency, which you are casting a soul signal and a broadcasting a frequency into the field that is aligning you with certain timelines that are then creating the external reality that you look out and see and call your life, your reality, the world outside of you. The world outside of you is just an echo of everything that you've been embodying and choosing up to this point, and everything that you've been buying into and believing and embodying, for lack of a better word, up until this point. And so you can't look outside this Quantum Ascension Shift Code series. There's the external world that you see outside of yourself is irrelevant, except for the fact where you can use it to guide you and see where you are still buying into lack, scarcity, or fear, because it will show up in the external world. But as far as a gauge on what is possible for you, it is fucking irrelevant. When you look out into your external world, it is irrelevant about as far as any indication of what is possible for you. There are limitless, infinite numbers of possibilities. Infinite, limitless number of possibilities. Sorry, I'm mixing my words up because I'm just so amped up about this. So whatever, it's all, hopefully it makes sense and resonates. If you look outside into your external world and you make it mean something about what is possible for you, you are operating from lack, scarcity, and separation consciousness. Jesus, when he said the kingdom of heaven is within you, this is how he performed miracles. He didn't perform miracles through wishing or hoping something would work. He already knew. He knew because he was anchored in the light of his consciousness, the truth of who he was, which is the same as you. You are, and this is taking a little turn here, but you are ultimately an expression within the mind of God. And I know this is a little higher level, but bear with me again. I'm not speaking to your mind, so don't try to figure this out. You are an expression within the mind of God. The mind of God has created all of this, and God is dreaming you right now. You are creation. A, you are a child of God. You are a creation of the one. You are an expression of the one, and God is dreaming you. You are already infinite and abundant, worthy and complete and whole. You cannot operate from the lack of that. and quantum shift into your highest timeline. And just like you are an expression within the divine mind, and you are a child of God, and you are made in the likeness of the ultimate creator, which is ultimately what Jesus's message was, that you are one with the source within you that creates you, that beats your heart, that breathes you. You are it. You are the expression. You are, there's no separation. You are this. And when you begin to know this, and not from a conceptual level, but from a deeper understanding, I should say, and you know this, which will not be done through the conceptual logical mind, you will activate the womb of creation, so to speak. And this is when it's fully embodied, when it's fully embodied into the seat of your presence, right? Like it's not hanging out in the mind, it's fully embodied. When you know, when you know, which is this is access through the stillness and through the silence. When you're grounded in neutral presence, stillness and silence, you will access this quantum womb of creation, so to speak, where all timelines are possible. It will not happen through the conceptual mind or linear thinking. It will not be a goal you can check off. And your highest divine timeline will roll out under your feet as you're walking this. It will not be some goal on your fucking vision board. It can be a goal, it can be on your vision board, but it's not going to be from the separate sense of self trying to create something on the vision board so you feel better. That's still coming from the separate sense of self. You can throw out your vision boards. You can throw out like all the things. None of that's going to matter. None of it is actually going to be an effective tool for you at this point, unless you're operating from the truth of who you are. All the rest of that stuff, all of it, the journaling, the vision boards, like all the stuff, those are tools along the spiritual path until you don't need them anymore. You could be using them as a crutch at this point to try to create something outside of yourself that you think you need, which is just a sneaky way to bypass you just coming home and living it and breathing it as it. All of those extra little things. And I love ritual. I have ritual, and I'm going to be sharing embodied practices and rituals, but none of them are going to be coming from the separate sense of self that's reaching outside of you. All of them direct you inward, where you are the power source. So back to this signal broadcasting into the field. It's like you're plugging into the field with your signal. I want you to think of like a plug that's plugging into an outlet. You're like plugging into your field. And I know like the field's not up here, right? But like just visualize whatever helps, right? But like I'm just going to share it this way. It's like you're plugging into the field with your signal. And when you notice and realize and recognize in the moment through your conscious presence and awareness that you are actually embodying a state of lack, scarcity, or fear, which is you first call it out and realize this is not your true vibration. Oh, you see it for what it is. You see it, you recognize it. Oh, I see that I have plugged into a fear-based frequency or a lack-based frequency or a scarcity-based frequency. And I want you to literally visualize like yourself plugged into the field with that frequency and unplugging from it, calling all of your power back to you. I now call all of my power back to me. This is not my true vibration. And then you choose that you are infinite in nature and that you now walk in alignment with your divine nature. You do not let that moment pass you by. When you notice, you have enough awareness to, or you wouldn't be resonating with this, right? This is not like a beginner's crash course in manifestation. This is beyond that. You have enough awareness to stop and see where you are plugging into lack and scarcity or fear. So you can unplug the signal from the field that is that has limitless, infinite number of timelines and possibilities for you. And you call all of your power back to you. And I recommend you breathe as you do this, and you call all of your power back to you. And then you recalibrate. You recalibrate at that moment, in that moment, and you speak silently or aloud the truth that you are a divinely worthy being of God. Your abundance is your true nature. Prosperity is your true nature. Divine overflow is your true nature. And I now walk and talk and breathe as my divine nature. Declare it. Declare it. You're not wishing, you're not hoping, you're not begging the universe to send you prosperity or anything like that. You are declaring the prosperity from within. Divine overflow starts within. You will not see it out there until it is anchored within. The external world is an echo and it means nothing about what is possible for you. So never use it as a gauge of what is possible. I've said that, but I'm going to keep repeating myself because that's kind of what I do. And everybody just kind of sometimes repetition is needed, right? Repetition is because this is what even what I'm sharing with you. This is not a one and done thing. Like this is repetition. This is consistency. This is you living from this, not just once in a while, not just on a weekly basis, moment to moment, day to day, in the now, catching yourself at every waking moment that you possibly can when you notice that you have now anchored into a frequency of lack, scarcity, or fear. So you can unplug the signal, call all of your power back, recognize that that is not your true vibration. That is not your true frequency. That is not your true nature. You call all of your power back and you declare that you now live in alignment with your divine nature. That prosperity is the source of your being, that you are abundant in nature, and that only what is real can exist. Only what is true can exist. Only what is divine can exist. Anything that's not real must fall away. This is how powerful you are. You are a creator. You are made in the likeness of the ultimate creator. You are made in the likeness of the God that created you. You are not separate from the God that created you. It's literally looking through your eyes right now and beating your heart and growing your hair and your nails. And it is the very breath that you bring into the body. You are it. You are all of it. You're not separate from it. You declare this inwardly and it will click. You breathe it in until it feels settled, until your nervous system has calmed down. This is recalibrating you for sacred wealth and abundance and receiving the prosperity and divine overflow that is your natural birthright. Your body needs to be able to receive it from a place of ease, from a place of safety. Breathe it. Take a moment. Even if you're going for a walk or this happens in the grocery store or whatever, wherever you get into your car and something triggers you or something like that, then don't start your car. Don't drive away. Sit in your car. Anchor, breathe, recalibrate, call your power back, unplug from the signal, recalibrate in the body, breathe until there is a sense of ease, until there is a sense of safety, until there is a sense of groundedness and anchoredness into the body. And then as you recalibrate, you begin to breathe it, live it, let it align your posture, let it bring your shoulders down, let it bring your gaze up. Let the confidence infuse into your body. Let the safety infuse into, let your shoulders come back. Like feel your body release the tension. Feel your posture align. Feel the confidence growing in your cells and in your body. Like you literally breathe this with every cell into your body, this recalibration that you're integrating in real time. In the moment of now, This only happens now. None of this is happening in the mind. This is all happening here eternally in the now through the sacred vessel and temple that is this vehicle, this vessel, which is what this is. It is a vessel, it is a transmitter, and it is a receiver, and you are recalibrating, you are fine tuning it until it is felt in the body. And then after you feel the release, after you feel the ease, after you feel the truth return, after you feel, and it's not returned because it never left, it's just words. That's what it'll feel like. That's what the experience will feel like. But it's ultimately just a remembering of what you already are, and the illusion is just falling away. And it will feel like something's being revealed to you. It'll feel like home. It'll feel like ease. It'll feel like peace. It'll feel safe. And then to get back to what I was sharing, after that is anchored and you feel it. Feeling is a key word here. You feel it. You feel the recalibration, right? After you feel the recalibration, you breathe this into your body and your posture and your form, right? And you move through life, through your next moment, through your next whatever. Like if this happened, like I said in the example, you're sitting in your car right before you pulled up to the grocery store or something, and you decided not to go into the grocery store so you could do the recalibration. Cool. Now you're anchored. Now go to the grocery store. Live your life as you move and breathe with this awareness, with this truth so anchored in your bones and in your cells and in your knowing, and that you have plugged now back into the field with this recalibrated frequency. You've fine-tuned the frequency, and now you're plugging back into the field with this frequency. And this frequency is recalibrating the field, so to speak, with the limitless, infinite number of potentials, possibilities, and timelines, completely limitless. And you are completely unattached from the outcomes of anything. You just begin to live, move, and breathe from this frequency. So you go live your life and you go grocery shopping and you do it with awareness anchored in your truth. And you do it from a place of knowing, anchored in the body, that you are the source of the creation that you see, that you are the source. You've just taken your power back. You are no longer reactive to the external world. As reality starts to reflect back to you the truth of who you are, because you are now one with it and you are no longer operating from the separate sense of self, and you are fully anchored in the truth of who you are, and you have accessed your neutral presence and anchored in your knowing that you are an ultimate creator, child of God, and that the kingdom of heaven exists now within you. That builds momentum in the external world just naturally. It's divine law. You don't have to try to figure any of that out. It must. It must. It's just divine law. Like I said earlier, it's just like, the law of gravity. You don't have to think about it. It just is the natural byproduct of you emanating at a higher frequency, you signaling and broadcasting the truth of who you are. What will be reflected back to you, because the world is just an echo, is more of that, the truth of what you are, which is abundance, which is prosperity, which is love, which is freedom, which is flow, which is expansive. And if you see something in the reality that feels off, that doesn't feel like that, it feels denser, then that is just a recalibration moment. It is just a recalibration moment. It has nothing to do with anything else other than a recalibration moment. So now you're moving through your life moment to moment, week by week. Yes, I'm using linear timeline example, but you're moving through, because we're here having a human experience as well. Even though you're collapsing timelines and operating from the eternal moment of now, more and more as you oscillate between
fully being embodied in the truth of who you are, or being sucked into moments of separation consciousness, which can still occur. So you're oscillating between this. You're oscillating for this between this, but that's what it'll appear as, even though you've always been here. You're just you've never not been the truth of who you are. You've never not been divine. You've never not been abundant, even though it will appear that you're oscillating at first. You're still are always here. Eventually that will fall away and you'll be like, oh, this has always been. There's nothing, everything else was just a lie. Everything else was just a lie. So there was something I was going to share. I don't know where I was going with that. There was something else that popped in and I totally forgot it. Let me take a sip. Mm. I hope this is making sense and resonating with whoever is meant to hear it. Hmm. Oh, yeah, there was something else coming in. Yeah. If there's more, I'll pop it in the channel. So I piggyback on these episodes after they kind of anchor in, and any other divine inspirations, channeled messages and downloads and stuff like that will be inside the Telegram channel. Check out the YouTube membership if you want to, because you can access the previous episodes, which will eventually, the YouTube membership comes down at the end of the series at the end of September. But the whole point of this being something that lasts from July through September, that was quite a commitment and devotion that was called through me. It's to build the momentum of you being fully embodied in your truth so that you can lead, create, give, and receive from divine overflow. Period. Hard stop. If this is what you're moving into and you feel called, I would love to have you inside the Telegram channel. And if you're ready to go all in, and you want this quantum identity shifting along with moving into sacred feminine leadership and share your magic and your medicine with the world as a way shower and fully embody your new earth leadership codes that are going to be activated within you in this container, then I would check out Rise Sister Rise. That is one of my premium programs. Right? No more lone wolf, no more hiding, no more dimming your light, sacred visibility and divine compensation. So if that resonates with you and you want that extra level of support and you want to play at a higher level, then you're always welcome to join us inside Rise Sister Rise. And if you're finding this and you want a community where we meet weekly, other women on this path, awakening their feminine power and their sovereignty and embodying their Empress energy, then you can always check out the membership, Embody the Empress, which right now you can get access to for the price of a pedicure. And what else? Last but not least, the Forbidden Feminine Sacred Heart Temple, which is really about activating your dark feminine magnetism. It's very Lilith coded. It's really your unapologetic magnetism. So if you resonate with that, then check out the Forbidden Feminine Sacred Heart Temple. I'm going to be dropping sacral magnetism in there, most likely within the next few days. And once I do, the price goes up. But right now, you can get access for the cost of one live event. The Forbidden Feminine Black Cat Edition is already waiting for you inside the temple. And it also comes with a ticket to the next event, which is live on March 13th, 2026. Right then, when you get entry, you get access with a live ticket. And what else? You get access to the temple for life. So every time I drop a new edition in there, you have lifetime access. So the sooner you get in, the less you pay. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram at Spiritual CEO. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.